Hi guys, my name is Takoa. I'm one of I would say, early persons in NFT in regards to doing alpha calls. I started a lot in Kaiju Kings, so started to call out projects that would do well, and that's how I started to build my rep in the space. Then proceeded to build out my own alpha Discord called Fishing Pier, which has now merged into Forgotten Ethereal Worlds, which is my own personal NFT project that I founded. And other than that, I run a XE scholarship program called Lambda as well. So basically, doing NFTs full time, and that has led me to where I am right now. So yeah, that's a bit about myself. So Ryan,
Yep,
would you like to?
awesome. So yeah, I guess I will just do a little bit about SVS in general, and
Yeah, sounds good.
then Ryan will come in and wrap up and do a little bit more. So then very nice to see it's 170, 180 people here already.
Yeah,
So that's
it's insane.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty proud of our community and what we've built. So it's nice to see that your community members as well joining us. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to go on. SVS is a NFT project founded by us. The co-founders
Yeah.
are, me, Ryan, Wolf, Topkek, and Freddie, and also
Yes.
Mig. So maybe some of you guys who might not know who we are, Mig is the former artist of the Bored Apes, right? So as for the rest of us, we've been friends for quite a number of years now. We've been in the crypto space for a while, and then we thought, we've been active participants with NFTs, similar to you quite early on. And then we thought, it'd be cool if we could, create our own community and do something on our own as well, which would be quite fun. So we came up with the idea. We got put in contact. Uh, Topkek put us in contact with Mig, and then we just discussed, went back and forth, and then we decided, hey, it would be pretty cool if we could do something fun and create a project. So we went, we discussed a little bit, and we saw that there's a lot of, especially a couple of months ago, lots of apes and cats and dogs and stuff like that. So we decided that we would go with, vampires. It's something that it's not really seen too often, and we thought like it would be pretty cool, right? Lots of reference to pop culture and lots of history behind vampires. So we thought, we haven't really seen this before. It's always animals and stuff like that. So we pushed that out there, and it was huge. I remember before Mint, we had in just 3 weeks we had about 50,000 people in our Discord. And this is considering it was like 5 months ago, right? It's quite a big deal back then. The space hadn't grown. Nowadays, you see people having 150, 200,000 in Discord, like it's normal, right? So yeah, there's 8,888 vamps in total, and uh, you know, after we launched, there was quite a lot of vampire projects that popped up, which we found pretty interesting. And then, but yeah, we were one of the first projects to really do anti-bot launch, no gas
Yeah.
war. So it was, pretty fun time. And then we've just been building on that ever since. So basically, right now, for you guys who may not know, SVS, we've been around for quite a while, right? But coming in February is going to be our Gen 2, right? So it's going to be the Vampress, which is just a simple term for female vampires. And then, that's going to be what the next big step is. And, if you guys haven't seen yet, Takawa has actually run a giveaway for a couple of whitelist spots
Oh
for
yeah.
our Gen 2. So,
Mhm.
please feel free to participate in that and post that around. And I think Ryan can do the rest of the SVS intro.
Sweet.
Yeah, so just leading off that really, when we minted in September, we completed our first roadmap within 6 weeks, which was very fast. We sped through quite a lot of things, even including some things that weren't on the roadmap, of which the end of the roadmap was teasing the Generation 2. So we teased the Generation 2 back in October now, and we were hoping to release it sooner as we originally scheduled it for December, so a couple of months prior to when it will be launching. So we're super excited now that we're going to actually be releasing it, and we can start bringing out some information and teasers leading up to February when it's going to happen. So we have put out limited details so far, and we have not really offered too many whitelist spots. So it's good that we can start to do that today, like with your giveaway,
Yes.
to invite more people into the community, because that's one of the big things about SVS. Everyone's very community centered. I know all the vamps in the lair, they're always hanging out on a daily basis, waiting for updates, seeing what's going on, just talking between each other. So we can't wait for Gen 2, not in the whole fact that we've been saying it's coming since the mint, but the whole that it's going to be able to bring so many more people into the SVS community, which we can't wait for. We did actually release our second roadmap last week. We released the second roadmap back after we completed the first, but we have updated it recently, just sort of fit in with our Gen 2 launch. So we can't wait to bring some more, as well as the Generation 2 female vampires. We want to bring a lot more to the first generation as well. So I'll just touch on a few points of what I know a few of the SVS holders will know, but we've got our pixel vampires, which we've been teasing on our Twitter.
Yep.
This is going to be the first generation vampires are going to be able to claim their own vampire, uniquely created. So we've created all of the traits in a pixel form, and everyone's going to be able to claim theirs using our blood token, which I'm sure we'll touch on a bit later in the space as well, because you started by talking about you joining through alpha and things like that through Kaiju. So that'll be interesting to get into our blood token and our alpha, because I know that's one of the large perks that people think about when it comes to SVS now, all of the alpha calls and alpha information, whitelist spots and things we have. But yeah, that's super exciting that the pixel vampires, along with 3D models, are coming over the coming weeks and months. The pixels coming first in February, and then the 3D models slightly later than that. Because one of our first goals as well was very Metaverse centered. Like, one of our first roadmap goals was that we were purchasing land in the sandbox, which we did, and it's currently being built out. And that jumps back to us being, in the community centered feel as well, where we've always wanted to create the lair in the sandbox where the vamps can hang out in Discord and on Twitter, but also in a sort of more physical environment, having the lair to chill in as well. So we can't wait for that. And especially with when the 3D models and things like that come, it's really just going to be bringing out the whole community spirit on that side. But yeah, aside from that, the female vampires are really at the forefront, and we can't wait to show people some more information over the next coming weeks before they release. So far,
that's very good. Maybe Ryan, would it be cool if Wolf introduces himself as well? Then we can come back to the roadmap, and then you can share more as well. Yeah,
is he up here as a speaker?
Yeah, he's on speaker. Wolf, would you like to do an intro?
I'm not sure if he has.
Or
his
T.
AirPods in.
Might not be.
Yeah, maybe we can get T.
Yeah, T can bring in.
Yeah. An intro, right? Sorry, you guys kind of get cut out there for a second.
Yeah. Maybe you could give yourself introduce yourself to everyone here.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm the marketing manager at SVS. I actually joined the project about 3 months ago, and ever since then we've just been working super hard to really just grow the brand, and get the name out there. Specifically, now with our Gen 2 release. Really, that's where our efforts are going in terms of a marketing push. But these last couple of months, we did have a couple real life brand collaborations as well. Most notably being Scream and Paramount Pictures. We recently did a collaboration with them, and it was actually a first for the space. So very exciting stuff that we're always working on, and that's really what we're also working on alongside the new roadmap moving into moving forward. So really just building out and just growing out the brand has really been a priority for us.
That's amazing. All right, cool.
Yeah, Wolf will be on in like 1 or 2 minutes. I think it's just getting his
can you hear me?
Oh yeah, Wolf is here.
Hi, hello. Wolf. Hi Takoa. I'm the lead dev behind SVS, so me and Freddie basically do all the technical parts. We did the launch, the gasless, the no gas roar launch. We did the bat claiming, stuff like that, collaboration. So that's my role at SVS. I don't know why Frederick is in here. Of course, he's never here, but yeah, that's my introduction. So
Awesome. Maybe Ryan or 2D Vamp, you could share more about your roadmap, because I see that you guys have pretty exciting stuff coming up. You guys have the sneaky vampiresses. You have the pixel vampires. You have the upcoming 3D models as well. I'm assuming that's for voxel, right?
Yep. So pretty
Vampires
much that's
companions, and then the Blood
correct.
Pact, which is the, I believe, the tokens which are coming up.
Yep. So pretty much I have I'm just going to go through a few points. So basically, this is actually the second roadmap that we've done. We actually completed our first roadmap within 5 or 6 weeks. I think the guys in our chat can let us know on that. So essentially, with the second roadmap, it was kind of more maybe we just wanted to revamp it and then see how we can do with things going forward, right? So definitely with pixel vamps and 3D vamps, stuff like that is actually just we're doing it in a way where we just add utility to our holders and the blood token, right? So if you hold the blood token, then that's used for alpha spots. And just if some of you guys may be a bit confused, you have a Gen 1 vamp or a Gen 1 bat, a vamp companion, and then you stake it and you get blood in return. But I'm just going to go through the roadmap, and Ryan will touch up more on the blood token and stuff later. So essentially, what happens is now the pixel vamps have actually already been completed. We're just doing some final checks on how we are going to proceed with this. So essentially, they're done, and they're going to be put out within the first half of February, and they're going to be completely mintable with blood. So you won't be able to buy them or mint them with it. It's going to be minted with blood, and then it's going to be a copy of whatever vamp you have, right? So, and we have some stuff planned with utility for the pixel vamps as well, which we are going to be announcing as soon as we can. And as for the 3D vamps, it's the same concept, right? So mintable with blood, and then they can use it in, voxel sandbox, Metaverse games. And essentially that's just the entire concept, right? So we're just trying to build as much as we can and give as much utility back to the guys that have supported us from the start. Because we actually launched our staking within the first few weeks of SVS dropping, and then it's been something that we consistently keep trying to work on and build around, right? And then we have that's some key points on the roadmap, and I think Ryan, you can touch up on the rest.
Yeah, I think one thing to bring on at this point is the blood token. I know Taco mentioned earlier about the whole alpha thing, which has become quite a big thing in SVS, which we didn't really intend from the beginning. We didn't have it, and it wasn't on a roadmap or anything like that. So the blood token, in case people don't really know, is what SVS holders receive from staking their vamps. So if you stake your vampire, you will receive 3 blood a day. And the same if you stake their companion, the bat, you'll receive 1 blood per day. So as 2D just said, we launched this back in October, and that people have been essentially accruing blood since. And over the past few weeks and the past month or so, this is where the blood sort of related things have come a lot into fruition on what people are able to actually use it for. So we're quite excited that blood's almost at the center of everything we try and do at this point, as 2D just jumped on as well, like the 3D models, the pixel vampires, they're all related to blood. There'll be no Ethereum involved. People will just be able to get their models from using their blood token that they've got from staking. So we're very much focused on being able to bring more utility and more value to current holders through the blood token. We've got some real life things planned as well. I know the vampire holders will know we've got a private label champagne coming up, some premium merchandise that will be used through the blood token. And some things like that. So we're very much focused on bringing both real life and NFT and crypto based things to the blood token. And then I think that's a good thing to punch on the alpha again now, where over the past few months, alpha's just been a sort of, if you hold a vampire, you've had access to our alpha, which a lot of people have loved. And, it's provided almost thousands of people with opportunities to join projects, even sell the NFTs, trade the NFTs, hold them. I know people have made large profits off them as well. But we wanted to expand this to really be using the Blood token, and that's where we're really happy that last week we were able to do so, where we're now offering people to increase their chances by using the Blood token. So far we've done it for about 4 or 5 projects, I think, and this is where people can essentially purchase raffle entries with their Blood tokens to increase their chances. So there's still going to be almost as much fair chance for everyone within our Discord as there always has been. But if there's a particular project that someone's really excited to join their community, or they really want to join a mint, they're able to almost increase their chances as high as they're able to through staking with their Blood token. So we're happy to extend that as well with the raffles, but that's going to also be being expanded as much as we can over the coming weeks with the likes of Dutch auctions, blind auctions, bidding to people who want to get specific slots. So we are really excited to expand the alpha, which is one of our, it's almost our number one perk that a lot of people join SVS for, to integrate in the Blood token with this.
Well, amazing, because I think what a lot of projects I've noticed personally have started is in including an alpha channel in that project, and sort of forming that community, which I believe, SVS is also um, believes that community is very important, right? And alpha calls is something that naturally just comes out from having a tight knit community who are in love with NFTs and want to, you know, discover new opportunities together. So having the blood token, which what you guys are having, is a really cool feature. Especially like entering the using the blood tokens to increase your chances at winning. So there's not like many projects that are actually doing that. So kudos to SVS for that.
Yeah, because I know we
because most
definitely weren't
projects do.
first.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, because most projects just normally do the normal giveaway, react stuff like
Yeah,
that, which is nothing wrong with that, right?
nothing
But we
wrong.
just thought like,
But
maybe it would be cool if we could integrate our utility token into this, right? So people who have, let's say you have a lot of vamps, you have a lot of blood, and then
Yep.
now there's a certain whitelist for a project you really want. Now you can, you have the opportunity to, give yourself a better chance at it by, like putting more blood for the more tickets in, right?
Yeah.
Because we do know that alpha, I'm sure that that's similar to how, how you grew your account in the last 1-2 months, right? It's alpha giving calls, so you can actually build a really tight community around just alpha and providing, more information about the scene, right? Because a lot of people are, a lot of people might feel a bit intimidated, right? Sometimes by NFT scene, and they might feel like it's not so hard to know what's going on, and it's not so easy to know what's going on and stuff like that. So we know that stuff like alpha, in a community does help quite a bit, and we have a pretty amazing alpha team here at SVS, so especially the head of alpha, Oinki. I know he's in here, he's in the spaces, so we're pretty proud of what we've done so far with SVS and alpha, and can't wait to keep it going.
Amazing.
Yeah, little Oinky, by the way, that's the head of alpha guy. Big Oinky is ours, Dev Freddy.
Yeah, I was just going to touch on almost the same thing, saying we definitely don't claim to be the first people to do alpha or anything like that. We know there are groups who were very successful at it before us, but we almost knew from the beginning we wanted to see how far we could take it and really bring in the tight-knit community that we already had to the alpha. Like Judy just said, there's a lot where it's just, react for this, and then all of a sudden there's 10 slots and there's 4,000 reactions, and it's almost like there's as cool as the project is and as good as that opportunity is, the chances are just so low a lot of the time. Because I know in SVS as well, that's what a lot of people say, that although we have a lot of opportunities for some great projects, there's always going to be a sort of low chances on some of the projects where there's only limited spots. So the fact that we can integrate the blood token, which a lot of people have been saving up for,
Yep.
For a couple of months now, and they can spend it wisely when they decide to do so, is great. And I can't wait to see how on certain projects this is going to play out, because I do know there's certain big holders, or even holders of a couple of vampires who've been staking for a few months, who have got quite a lot of blood saved up. If they specifically want one project that they've had their eyes on for a while,
They can spend it.
Yeah, exactly. They wouldn't necessarily be able to get in from doing Twitter giveaways, doing reaction giveaways. The chances on those are so low, but they can just almost infinitely increase their chances with this token. So we can't wait for that to be expanded over the coming weeks and months with even more ways that they can do that and almost try and up their chances as much as they see fit for a particular project.
Absolutely, that's really exciting. And I see that that you guys, one of the benefits is also minting using blood.
Yep. So essentially, all the added utility stuff that we are going to bring, you know, to the project is all going to be mintable with blood, right? So especially one thing that we try to do is when we do talk to new projects and we see what we can, and to see how we can collab and how we can partner, we always try to bring it back and include blood in it, right? So we try to bring benefit to all our holders and stakers by doing that, right? So, this brings blood on like the outside, right? Let's say we partner with like a grocery store and then they have discount and we're like, yeah, you could buy a watermelon with blood. So something like that, So, it's not just intra SVS community. It is, especially with outside as possible, right? This is something like what we're doing with the champagne, with the champagne that we have coming out soon, where it's going to be integrated with blood, and just stuff like that. So, a pretty good example, especially because it's not just outside of the NFT scene, just within the NFT scene itself, the 3D vamps, the pixel vamps. So, right now it hasn't been announced yet, but, we are working on actually integrating and partner with some other pixel metaverse type projects. So, as we continue to grow, our SVS, right, we continue to grow the utility of blood. And, blood is going to be like, it has a little bit of a different future, right, Ryan, with Gen 2 and how staking and blood isn't going to be the same as we go forward with the Vampers.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one thing we want to sort of promote with the Gen 2 female vampires, that there's going to be a lot of difference between the Gen 2 and Gen 1s that almost work together in tandem. So it's not, for example, we've already announced that the Generation 2 female vampires are not going to be able to be staked for their daily blood. But that's not to say that they're of any less use or any less utility or have any less benefits, but it's just that we're trying to work difference between the two tokens, so that they also work hand in hand. We do have something down the line, which will be a couple of months after the Vampiresses come out, but that'll be the Blood Pact, which is essentially a breeding type mechanism where, the Gen 1s and the Gen 2s will be able to come together and using blood be able to, produce a Generation 3 vampire. We've already announced that this isn't going to be something as boring as bringing out like a baby vampire or something like that. We're trying to make it more exciting than that. And we won't be releasing any details. Nothing's finalized till close to the time. But that is definitely one thing we're thinking when we're bringing out the female vampires, that we definitely want them to almost work hand in hand, not necessarily for this Blood Pact down the line, but just in general daily scenarios where, the Generation 1s will have access to SVS Alpha, they'll have access to our private label champagne, but then the Generation 2 female vampires will have access to a different set of things as well. So it's very much trying to inclusive both collections. We're not trying to promote one more than the other. We're not trying to say that the Generation 1s are the originals and they're the ones you should buy and you should not care about any of the others. It's very much a sort of hand-in-hand type basis that we're trying to promote with this new generation.
Amazing. Yep. I think it's very important to not just place one, collection, like the first collection is more important or superior than the Gen 2s or Gen 3s. So it's good to see that, SVS is thinking about the long-term aspects of the projects as well, of the NFTs as well. Maybe we can touch on a bit more on the, I see you guys have been trying to bridge the NFT and real world gap. So do you have any partnerships that you would like to share with the AMA?
So this is actually something that we try to, push as much as possible, right? Bridging the gap between the NFT scene and the real world. And T, if you're here, I think this one's best suited for you. T deals with a lot of our marketing side of stuff. So this topic that he's well versed in.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously, the very first IRL collaboration that we announced, that's still yet to be fulfilled, is the private label champagne, which is made by Shami Shin. He actually made the world's most expensive champagne that ever exists, and that's looking to be delivered sometime in February as well. The really big one, like I mentioned earlier, was obviously the one with Scream and Paramount Picture Studios, where our holders were able to get access to advanced screenings. We also got a couple hundred tickets, and we also did physical prints. And then that's really where the birth of this whole blood raffle slash auction system sort of came from that collaboration that we're now using for Alpha. But just moving forward, it's really for us. It's really good for us to be able to shake hands with these bigger brands because it just leads to more opportunities. And we're already seeing it. We're working with we're talking to bigger brands behind the scenes. Like we've revealed in our community, we're the biggest, not really the biggest, but a really nice one coming up is going to be like premium merchandise with an existing skatewear brand. And just moving forward, it's going to be the same, just working with the IRL brands and doing physical collaborations as well as digital. Because what's really unique about our space is we're all here early and we're already established. And the bigger Web2 brands coming in from the outside, it's a little tougher for them to establish themselves. So they look to projects like us, who are here to stay in the long run to really collaborate with. And we're really just pushing for the real world utility. Unfortunately, there really isn't anything that we can reveal. But it's always happening. We're always talking to someone, and we do have a couple exciting things on the books coming up.
Yeah, I
think that's something that people don't realize. Oh, sorry, Ryan. I'll just quickly go. I think something that people don't realize is that when you deal with these, traditional companies in the real world, right? It's not as easy as dealing with, sometimes people within our own NFT scene, right? There's a lot of rules, and guidelines that we have to follow with it. So definitely something like the merch that we're working on with the new merch is super exciting. And as soon as we've seen some of the designs internally, and as soon as we can't wait to share the brand and design with you guys. So yeah, sorry, I got in the way, Ryan.
No, yeah, I was almost going to say the same thing. Where from the beginning, we've always wanted to almost include as much real life utility as much as the sort of crypto and NFT space utility. And that's the sort of interesting thing we've learned over the last few months. When I'm trying to focus on both, that there's almost so many more different steps when it comes to the real life. Compared to the NFT and the crypto scene, on things moving slower, there being a lot more hoops to jump through, and that really just shows how the sort of NFT space has advanced so much over the last few months, never mind over the last few years, and it'll be interesting to see how that goes over the coming months and the coming years as well, just with how many new people are getting involved. I know when the Coinbase platform comes out, that's going to open up a whole new thing of the world of NFTs, to the sort of more real life people who wouldn't almost be able to buy them otherwise. And it's just going to be interesting to see how the sort of real life and the crypto NFT space bridge, really evolves and promotes itself in tandem over the coming months.
Yeah, and I mean, for us, it's really, we're big proponents of innovation and, just pushing things forward. So it's really, for us, it's not like, oh, we were the first to do this or this and that. But we're more almost proud that, it's for the space, really, moving forward with Web3. And we're just, we're very excited to see where we're able to take things and what other projects are able to do as well with these Web2 brands.
Amazing. That's fantastic to hear. So when can we expect the Sneaky Vampires to come out?
We are hoping for, it's 100% in February. That's definitely coming. Gen 2 is definitely set in February. We will be announcing the exact date soon. So we haven't put a certain date out yet, but we will announce the date soon. And then we haven't dropped any sneak peeks yet either. And once we get the date down, we will be dropping our first sneak peek as the art contest comes to a conclusion. Is that right, Ryan?
Yeah, so one of our main things since we announced Gen 2, the female vampires, about a week ago now, is that up until they release in February, we want to almost be providing more information, more teasers as we go along, almost every day or every other day or at least a large one every week until they come out. So the first thing we obviously announced was that they were releasing within February. And then yesterday, before our AMA, which we did on Spaces as well, we announced the supply, which is going to be 12,345, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which we said we confirmed that yesterday as well. And then we just can't wait to bring out, the more intricate details as we get closer. We don't want to bring out anything too early or before it's time, but the mint price, exactly how you can get a whitelist, and things like that, and especially our blood discount. So that's jumping back to we did before. Current holders of Gen 1 are going to be able to get their guaranteed female vampire discounted with our blood token. So that's something we can't wait to share as well on exactly how that's going to work, how the token will be integrated, and then how much discount that'll provide. But yeah, we can't really wait to share more over the coming weeks until we get closer into February, when we'll be giving the more intricate details before the release, along with providing more whitelist spots, which jumps back again to Takoa has released giveaway before this space started today, for your chance to get a whitelist spot. And we're going to be bringing more of these out over the coming weeks, all the way up until the Sneaky Vampiress Syndicate releases in February.
Amazing. And I see that you have bought a land, right, for Sandbox.
Yep, that's correct. We're a premium partner with Sandbox, actually. Maybe for some of you guys that don't know, we have a 3x3 estate. We're premium partners with Sandbox, and we bought the land immediately after the mint of SVS. So yeah, it's our lair within Sandbox is actually being worked on right now. We have builders, working on it and building it out right now. Yes, that's correct.
Okay, that's amazing. So, and part of your roadmap would also include 3D models, correct? So this would
that
be
is also
for
being
Gen
worked
1.
on currently. That's for Gen 1 Vamps, correct. But obviously we're going to be attempting to, do the same thing again for Gen 2. Just like how, we have the bats, which are the Gen 1 companions. Part of the roadmap for Gen 2 is going to be the, Vampiress companions.
Yeah, and I'm sure down the line as well, that's going to bring in, this isn't something we've said yet, but the fact that we're going to have the pixel vampires and the 3D models for the Generation 1s, there's only a matter of time by the time it gets to down the line of the female vampires joining the community on bringing those in as well. And especially when it comes to the vamps being able to chill in the lair, in the sandbox, in their 3D models, we can't wait to see everyone in there, their unique skin with the unique traits. It's going to just bring an even more level of immersion when people are chilling in there. It's one thing people typing in Discord, and creating friendships in there, but then the whole metaverse thing is still, so early. A lot of the games are still in beta. The whole model thing hasn't really caught on. There's not too many projects that are fully focused around 3D models. So it's going to be great to see the vampires being able to chill in the sandbox when that comes out.
Absolutely. That's very exciting because, yeah, like you said, not many projects have actually solidified their that part, right? And I think as we move on into and continue to grow Web3 and the metaverse, it becomes more important that we are able to move around in a virtual space, so and hang out with our community members. So would be able SVS holders would be able to hang out with each other in a metaverse. So do you guys have plans to build your own SVS metaverse?
Do you mean like not within a current metaverse, like one that's just for us, you mean?
Yeah.
This is something that we've been exploring actually. Wolf and Freddy would be the main ones behind this, but this is definitely something that we have been exploring. It is a possibility, but for right now, we're just going to be going with. We are partners with Sandbox. We're also partners with Wild World, who are very cool kind of metaverse concept. But imagine, as Larry Chet is saying, I emoji. Imagine an SVS metaverse. It would be mad. Something we have been exploring, and I think if it does come to fruition, it would be huge. So yes.
Well, I would keep my eyes on you. That would be pretty exciting. So Yeah, can't wait. And I see that, you know, with the there's gonna be breeding mechanics as well. So I think you guys have yet to solidify the details on that. But breeding will be super important, and so will the blood token. Correct.
Yeah, so but this isn't really anything we've talked about too in depth. It has been something that we said from the beginning. You
Mm-hmm.
know, once the male vampires and the female vampires have entered the lair, that's going to be what we're focusing on next. There's almost like a Generation 3 opportunity. Yeah, but that will be the case where the blood token is going to be, you know, the main sort of mechanism within this as well. We announced in our updated roadmap last week that this is going to be called the Blood Pact, which is going to be our name for breeding, which almost explains that the blood is going to be an integral part when it comes to this. So we'll obviously be sharing more details and focusing on this more heavy, you know, once the female vampires have entered the lair. But yeah, it's very much going to be a fact where, you know, when the two vampires come together and form the blood pact, you know, each time this happens, the amount of blood required will be increased. There might also be larger cooldowns in between. So obviously, these are some of the more smaller details we're going to, you know, see more intricately and see what the community think closer to the time. But yeah, it's very much going to be focused around the blood again. You know, where you'll be able to stake your vampires, you're going to be able to claim and trade your blood and get your balance ready. And then when it comes time to be the blood pact, you're going to be able to use these tokens to form the pact.
That's amazing. Yeah. Uh, I think what 2D Vamp. What do you think about opening the floor for questions?
Yes, I think that's great. It's something that we normally do for about 10 minutes towards the end, or 10, 15 minutes. I think it's good to hear it from anybody that wants to come up. Let's request to speak, everyone. You guys in their chat, you know, we have a big viewing today, large audience. So yeah, sounds
Yeah,
awesome.
with I think at peak we had like 220.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, nice to see so many people tuning in.
I
Now we
see.
normally do AMA every week in our Discord actually, but we've been trying to do at least a couple more on Twitter Spaces, because it's actually a pretty nice way to get new people in, right?
Yeah,
Who can
absolutely.
view mutually both projects. So I think it is pretty nice.
Absolutely. I see DCD requested first. So DCD, would you like to come up on the stage, on the
Oh, yes,
space? Yep.
DCD, definitely. We know this guy. He's a great artist. When we did our
Yeah.
art contest, initially at Gen 1 for whitelist spots, he submitted a bunch of great art, I remember. If I'm not wrong, you were
Amazing.
selected as a winner, right? Definitely.
Yeah, yeah, I did. I did. Sorry, I just realized that. Yeah, I did get my ticket into SBS via the art competition. Thank you so much. And also, I got a lot of motivation to get back into my artwork because of SBS. So I always say that as well. Maybe you guys had answered this question already, Wolf or 2D or Ryan. I can't remember, but it just kind of came to my mind. Will we be able to have blood packs across vampires and not just the vampires that we own?
Do you mean with other
Yeah,
people's vampires?
exactly,
Right?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is something that I think, yeah, you might recall where we mentioned a while ago, right? That people could, like, quote unquote rent out their vampires for ETH slash blood, and then you could kind of, do a blood pack with them, right? That's for Gen 1. Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. That was my
So
only
maybe someone
question.
has a very, yeah. So maybe an example for someone, maybe someone has a very rare vamp, and then they can kind of rent it out for a certain price. And then if you wanted to do a blood pact with them, then that's totally possible. It could be for blood or for ETH or something like that. And I know, since we're on the topic, not sure if, maybe for some new guys, we also mentioned that we could do the same. We're going to be doing the same thing with bats, remember? So you could take your bat and you could add it into kind of like the blood pack mix, and then you can use it 3 times maximum, and then it'll take some percentage of the traits from the bat as well.
That's cool because then I love my two vamps, right? And I love my two bats. but there's certain traits that I've always wanted. So definitely, if I can like reach out to someone and if they're kind enough to do something like that, that'll be clutch right there, no doubt. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it as usual.
Yeah.
Keep staying awesome. I'm gonna go back down to listener.
Awesome. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
asking the question, DCD.
Yeah. For anyone, for anyone that is maybe a bit new, Blood Pact is breeding. We just don't want to use the term breeding so often as it's a bit crude.
Yeah. Okay, we got Julio. Hi, Julio.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing, guys? I heard earlier that you guys were trying to do like your own metaverse. I haven't really explored a lot about those types of options with like Sandbox and I forget what the other popular one is called. But what would be like why would you prefer to make your own over establishing, SVS in an existing metaverse?
Yeah, well, that's definitely one of the big things we think when we think about establishing our own metaverse, because it's definitely been something that we've thought of over the last few months on something that we could potentially do. And I see from the reaction in their chat a minute ago when 2D mentioned it that it is something that a lot of people within the community would love. But at the same time, as you say, we're premium partners with the Sandbox. We've partnered with Wilder World. We've also talked with quite a few others where there's going to be integration with the Pixel Vamps and the 3D models. So there is definitely merit as well to focusing on ones, where they're building up their metaverse. Because as much as we'd like to focus on a metaverse ourselves, we bring out new generations. We push out updates several times a week. So it's almost something where we couldn't. Could we provide a metaverse experience as good as some of these multi-million-dollar brands? So I know from in SVS community type thing, they'd love a metaverse of themselves. They're chilling and talking in the Discord all day, coming together. So imagine they were able to be and have their own lairs, meet up and hang in each other's lair, have furniture and hang up paintings of their vamps in their lair. So it's definitely something where in that aspect, we think that'd be super cool to have our own where we can, 100% explore and experience and add what we want to it. But then at the same time, we do want to build out within these premium metaverses of the large brands such as Sandbox and Wilder World, which is why we've purchased the land. We've got builders building the lair. So it would definitely be a case of almost focusing on both as well. Whether we do our own metaverse, it's not necessarily like something that we're definitely going to do, but it is definitely something we'd love to do and would love to explore.
Right. I mean, I can't speak for everybody else, right? But personally, I think it'd be more interesting for you guys to develop different ideas / utility, within the project instead of trying to like reinvent the wheel, make your own metaverse. As you said, there's already like multi-million-dollar brands expanding on it already. So might as well use the tools that they're providing.
Yeah, that's definitely the valid point of it. That as much as we'd love to make our own as well, it is the amount of time where we would have to really focus on that, on building our own, and it would be whether that if that was to interfere with our day-to-day activities, our pushing of updates, our building the SVS brand, because obviously the SVS brand comes first in a general, not for it being a metaverse brand or anything like that. Like that's not necessarily what we are. So as much as we would like to explore it, and we'll continue to explore it if it is something we can do, like you say, there are the multi-million-dollar companies who they have their metaverse built already, and that we're going to be partnered and very much inside. So it could be a case where it is worth focusing more on introducing the Vamps to a variety of different good metaverses rather than spending the time building our own. But it is something that we would love to do. So it's just a balance between those two, really.
Right. Also, another question I had was about Gen 2. I don't know if the information has been released yet or not, but do we know how much blood is going to cost to mint your Gen 2 Vamp?
We don't yet, but it is very much going to be a case, because I know this goes about in the lair chat as well, that it isn't going to be for 100% blood for the Generation 2. It's going to be a discount. So, for those who aren't staking their vampires and still want to be able to get their female companion guaranteed, they'll be able to do so, because every Generation 1 vampire does guarantee a Generation 2 vampire, whether you have your vampire staked or whether you have blood or not. So it's very much going to be a case of there'll be a set Ethereum price that will be able to be reduced by a certain percentage by using a certain amount of blood. I know that's very vague at the moment, but the details will be announced probably a week or two before the mint. So there's going to be plenty of time for people to know exactly how it's going to work, what's going to go on, and the exact prices. But again, the 3D models and the pixel vamps are the ones that are going to be 100% blood, and the Vampiresses are going to be a mix of either Ethereum or Ethereum plus blood for a discount.
I see. Awesome. I know taking a lot of time, but just really quick, one last question. Yesterday you guys mentioned about, somebody mentioned something about like, oh, how BayC does, Bored Ape Yacht Club, they do their like real life meetups, things like that. What would be the purpose of that? I'm not saying that, you know, there's no purpose to it necessarily, but I'm not super familiar with that specific aspect of things. Is it just like to get to know people / networking, or what is the whole case with that?
Oh, yeah.
So, okay, Ryan. Yeah, I do know. I'm a bit delayed. It's okay. You can go. Do you want me to go?
No, you can do it.
Yeah. So, a lot of people do like the idea of the real life meetups where it is possible, right? Because at the end of the day, we are all one big community, right? Like, you know, if there's only 8,888 SVSs or 10,000 Bored Apes, that in itself is the like, you know, it's a niche community. It's kind of like a more modern day version of a like club / community, which has some sort of entry barrier, right? So a lot of these people are, you know, we spend a lot of time with each other in Discord, in the Lair, and on Twitter Spaces. We interact with each other all the time. So, you know, being able to do something that is like a real life event, you know, where a lot of us can come together within reason and within means is actually something that is, you know, pretty special and can have a real positive effect on everyone, right? Like, you know, I see all these guys every day in the Discord. I talk to them. We talk to them every week on the AMA. You know, I know a lot of them pretty well by now, same as how they know me. And it would be awesome, you know, like one day, you know, when there is a big convention, maybe we could organize a SVS type of event as well at the same time. And then, you know, they could show their Vamp as like a pass to get in. And then certainly, you know, that in itself adds some sort of utility as well. And, you know, to be able to share a special experience with like everyone together in person.
I see. That does sound pretty interesting.
Yeah. I've actually been asked to attend one of the Vamp's wedding this year. Isn't it?
Oh, no way. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Shout out to Motula.
I know I took a ton of time from you guys, but thank you so much for answering the question. I'm very excited for the future. The roadmap looks amazing, and thank you guys.
No problem. Thank you so much for coming up and talking to us.
Thank you, Julio.
Pronounced Julio, but thank you.
Okay.
Julio.
All right.
Should we maybe do one or two more before we finish up?
Yeah, sure. We have this is in Walmart. Would you like to come up? Hello.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes. How are you?
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
I can't hear you.
Yeah. Yes, we can hear you.
We can.
I was just talking to you in Discord in the last 30 minutes or so, wasn't I?
Hey,
Walmart.
thanks for bringing me up.
Yeah.
I just had a quick question. As a completely new person to this project, what is like the benefits of minting a Gen 2 if you don't have a Gen 1 or Blood to use?
You mean if you are going to mint a Gen 2 without a Gen 1 currently?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so you still, you will be able to share quite a decent amount of benefits as well as, you know, the Gen 1. But we have a lot of things in the pipeline, which is going to be announced with adding utility for Gen 2, right? So we're not going to make it in a way where all the utility goes just to Gen 1 and, you know, it's like uneven, because the whole idea is that every collection that comes up from SVS that comes through us as a project should be, you know, in equal value at the least, right? It's not an idea to make one, you know, be so much more ahead of the other, then there's no point, right? So you can't stake for Blood for Gen 2, but we are going to be doing certain things where you still get to integrate with our community, and we will be announcing that as we are in the ramp up to Gen 2. These are all things that have been finalized between us, and then we'll be pushing the announcements out soon.
Cool. Well, that's pretty much the only question I have. This project looks super cool. The community's awesome. I mean, I just joined today and had like 10 people say hi to me as soon as I got in the chat. So definitely looking forward to what you guys have to do. Thank you.
I noticed you when you came into there. Yeah, so it's nice to see you up here as well. So thanks for being like an active participant and really taking the time to speak to us. It's real humbling.
Yeah, Thank you guys for having me up here, and thanks Takoa for hosting.
No worries. Thank you. All right. We can only do 2 more questions, so we will sort of wrap this up. NFT Grinder looks like he's really keen. Okay, come up. Hello.
Okay, hello.
NFT
Can you hear me?
Grinder? Yes.
Okay, I'm ZW in SVS. I don't have a question per se, but I just want to share some thoughts on SVS for those who are new to us. Okay, so I minted this project 4 months ago, and when I first started NFT. So I started with like 500 USD, and back then the floor went up to 2 Ether. It was really a lot of money, so I decided to sell it back then. But I still continue to keep tabs on SVS, and subsequently when I made enough Ether, I came back to buy my first SVS, which is my profile pic, and then subsequently I bought another 4 more. If you are on the fence thinking why you should join SVS, all I can say that it's really a good community. There's really a lot of utilities. For instance, I won a whitelist spot to PA, and that really almost cover most of my investment on SVS already. And I'm very, very proud of SVS team. They really deliver and listen to the feedbacks of the community and continue to innovate to bring more value to the community. Yeah, so that's what I want to share about SVS. And just also want to say hi to Taco. Been following your alpha calls in NanoPass. Yeah, that's all.
Wow. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's a really nice message. It's nice to see that. Obviously, there's no harm. We will never ever shame anyone for selling your Vamp. You were able to mint with under 500 USD, because this is one of the things that it's nice for us to hear, right? Because NFT Grinder, as you know, the whole reason we wanted like anti-bot and no gas war was so everyone can participate if you had a slot to mint, right? So this is exactly what it was all about for us, right? And then there's no shaming anyone for selling. You made a good amount of money. I'm happy. We're all happy for you guys, and you came back and you supported the project just as much. 4 times as much, because you bought in so much more. So thank you so much for the kind words, and it does mean a lot.
Awesome. I think we have space for our last question.
We have just one last one.
Mallow Prism. Okay. Hello.
Hey, how you going, bro?
Hello.
Good. How about yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, bro. I don't know. I was surprised you actually accepted my request to speak, to be honest.
Don't be surprised, mate.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm fairly new to the NFT space, and I've been following you, Takoa. I don't know. It seems like you're always in the really, really good projects, and I'm trying to build a name for myself, just by building a collection. And I'm currently down in Australia. I just feel like the population here in Sydney and Australia as a whole is very uneducated on NFTs. So I'm trying to start a social media space, educating people on NFTs, and I don't want to be one of those spammy pages that just post just shills shit projects and whatever. I want to actually invest in really, really good projects, proper artists and everything. But yeah, I don't know. Thanks for letting me up here and coming to speak. I'm taking a look at that SVS and it looks really nice. I might buy one myself.
Well, that's
Yeah,
good to
thank
hear.
you.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, Mig, our artist Mig is from Australia as well, so it's
Oh, mad. Yeah.
local support.
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask some questions, whatever, maybe get some feedback on what do you think is the best role or like the best route to becoming a reliable source of information on social media and building a following?
Well, I guess this one's for you, Takua.
Well, okay. Well, great question. It starts by honestly just doing you, giving value to people around you in your immediate circle. And once you start giving value to people in your immediate circle, right, they will start to take notice. And usually, what happens is people will return value to you in some sort of way. In different ways, but I don't expect that. Like every time I do something for someone or share my alpha codes for someone, I don't expect anything in return, right? But eventually, people are kind-hearted enough to start to open doors of opportunities for me, and you know, people start to recognize what the value that I'm bringing to the table, and that's how you start to form your, you could say, your like your mm, like your true followers, right?
Yeah,
for,
yeah.
for people to look up to you, right? So other than that, it's about connecting with people in a really genuine way. There's a lot of bad actors out in this space. There's a lot of ingenuine people, so being genuine in this space is something that is rare and is always a blessing to have and to see. So if you're genuine and you continue to deliver value to your immediate circles, you'll start to get the recognition. So yeah, that's the advice I can give.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Honestly, and yeah, that's what I find is the best thing is just to be yourself. I don't know. It just seems like there's a lot of people these days that aren't really themselves. They're just following and chasing to be someone that they're not, just to please the crowd or whatever. And I'm completely opposite. I'd rather be myself and be liked by people who actually like me, not just like me for clout or whatever it is. So yeah, I'm trying to actually build up a genuine following. Like I made a second page with the business name and everything, but I haven't started on it yet. I'm just building a logo and banner and stuff. I wanna do it properly. But yeah, I appreciate the advice, man. Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you for asking a question.
Always you're
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you. Just quick thank you everyone for tuning in. I'm not going to do the outro because it's not, it's Takura Spaces, but we just want to quickly say from everyone at SVS, thank you to Takura, for having us on the Spaces. It means a lot to us. For any of you that might not know or have come late, he's run a giveaway for
Yes.
5 whitelist spots for SVS Gen 2. So yeah, for sure, just please feel free to participate and spread the word, and all the best.
Thank you to
Yeah,
the
thanks a
Vamp.
lot for having us, Takua.
My pleasure. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Wolf and T, for joining on this space. I think it was a really, really good AMA. People got to hear more about your second roadmap and the plans that you have got going for SVS. I think SVS is here to stay, and the community that you guys have built. Because I'm popping in the Discord, and I can see how active people are, and they're really, really hyped. So that's something that you don't see in a lot of communities. So I give you guys a pat on the back. Well done. You guys have done a great job. So fantastic.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, and everyone. Takoa will doing his own collection as well. It'll be coming out soon, I assume. So just stay tuned, and thanks for supporting both of us. And we can't wait to speak to you guys more. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye bye.
All right. Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
Bye 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 bye.
Take care.
Bye bye.